If you are joining me for the first time, click subscription button and notification bell to be notified. This is Davi-tech-media, updating you. Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media.
When you go out and listen to people speaking, and within a given period of time, people come back to their thank you. This has been so attended to have been handled. That gives a sense of satisfaction. So it is a position of serious work, but also presents itself a lot of jobs.
Yes, Honorable. So, in the 20 years you've served as Kabwata MP, would you say you have fulfilled what you had planned to do as member of Parliament for Kabwata? Are you happy with the work that you've done?
To be honest with you, I exceeded expectations. My expectations were based on the history. When I look back at what had happened about the 20 years before me and the 20 years that have been there, I'm living very satisfied man. I have done to the best of my ability, and there are lots of things that can be pointed as having been the result of my interaction with the people of Kabwata. I have to indicate here that these developments in Kabwata constituency cannot be attributed to me alone. Yes, they can be attributed to the period in which I was a sitting member of Parliament, but the developments have been as a result of a number of factors, some of which have been just pure dedication and commitment by various governments, starting with the MSP government, which obviously came to deliver to the expectations of the people because of the nudging that I was doing to them, both in Parliament and outside Parliament. And also they are having listened to me when I thought of Kabwata constituency, were upset with their governance for as long as they did development. But also this has to be attributed to the people. You will see that over the last 20 years, people who have been coming to Kabwata to set up their properties in Kabwata have been very resilient, and they have provided for themselves high quality properties, thereby quickly improve the status of the constituency so far as progressive is concerned. The people have been building their houses with something that it made it easy to provide the required. I'm very happy that incidences where people were built on road resistance was very minimal, because had it not been the case, it wouldn't have been possible for us to provide roads. Had people built in an unplanned manner, like I've seen in many other parts of the country, it wouldn't have been possible for to pack water and provide water to them. So this has been a combination of factors, and I'm just happy that I happen to have been the member of Parliament. And my little contribution was obviously on behalf of the people, and to bring to the attention of powers that be, to bring to the attention of the service providers the kind of plight that the people were in and their needs for service.
All right, Honorable. So, what's next for you? There's so many questions on the general citizen's mind. What's next for Honorable Given Lubinda? Where do we see you go from here?
Well, the first thing is that I shall continue as citizen of Zambia. There's no doubt about that. as a citizen of Zambia, whatever is available for all other citizens must also be available to me. Secondly, I don't think that people can fear that this is the last they have seen of me in the politics of Zambia, because I am determined to continue to serve my political party, the Patriotic Front, as a loyal and dedicated member, and I shall continue to serve the Zambian people in whatever portfolios I find myself privileged to serve. But the one thing for sure is that I am not tired to retire. I'm still as energetic as I was some 20 years ago. I suppose that now they can carry with me 20 years of wealthy experience as a parliamentarian, but more so as a national politician. And I think this is the experience that I shall put to the disposal of the Zambian people. But that will obviously be through my party of choice, the Patriotic Front.
Okay. Honorable, from the time you made the announcement yesterday, we heard a lot of rumors. Rumors of you maybe vying for the running mate, to be running mate of President Edgar Lungu come August 2021, and just positioning yourself for a bigger position in the party. How true is that?
There are only 2 or maybe 3 bigger positions in the party than the one that I hold. And that is Secretary General, National Chairman, Vice President, and President. There are only 4. All the other positions in the party are equal to my position as Chairman of the Committee on Agriculture and Livestock Development. And those 4 positions are currently occupied. You have Secretary General Mwila, you have Monga Mukupa as Chairman of the party, our Honorary Vice President, Nonge Mutukwawina as Vice President, and His Excellency himself. There is no vacancy. So it would be fallacious for anyone to imagine that I've decided to give up standing in Kabwata for the purpose of landing a position in the party. And also remind people that I don't have to be a non-parliamentarian for me to apply for any of those positions. Same for the Vice Presidency and the President of the Republic. But if it is the Vice Presidency for the party, for instance, I don't necessarily have to be a non-parliamentarian. And also remember that the Constitution of the Patriotic Front as it stands today, a person does not vie for any particular position in the Central Committee. You vie for the ordinary membership in the Central Committee, and the President is the one who has the power to allocate the different portfolios. So it would also not be for a person to say, now I want to go and vie to be national chairman, I want to vie to be secretary general. That is a very fallacious approach to the matter.
Honorable Lubinda.
To talk about this. Hello?
Honorable, with the vast experience that you have, you bring to the table, 20 years in Parliament, and your experience in politics, would you agree if President Edgar Lungu appointed you as his running mate?
That is up to I'm very happy to have had the 20 years experience in Parliament. And I've told you that I am going to continue to serve my party. And the issue of the running mate has never crossed my mind. And to be honest with you, if His Excellency approached me and he offered the position of Vice President, I think we'd have to make a lot of discussion around it. Because, I am not an expert in the party. I am a team player in the party. And what is good for the party, what is good for the country, must be good for me. I'm not egocentric about this position.
Okay.
It is not what suits me, it is what suits the party and what suits the country, which I will follow.
Okay. If it suits the party, would you say yes?
If we were convinced that this is the best for the party, it's something that I would consider. But as things are now, I think that His Excellency is the one who has the prerogative to think about this matter. I don't think I should allow any further speculation about the matter because it has not crossed my mind at all. And I don't think that I would be suitable for that position given the circumstances that I read our party in.
Honorable Lubinda, yesterday you did indicate that you will not make any endorsements for any aspiring member of parliament for Kabwata constituency, and we've seen a number of people actually vying for your soon to be vacant position. Would you say this clamor of aspirants that we've seen is it because they want to serve the people, or it's there's somewhat some selfish interest in it?
I'll leave that.
Get me the charger from the bedroom.
And in so doing, I also present myself and my history as an example. People can take a look at how I aspired for Kabwata in 2001, how I did it in 2006, how I did it in all the time that I stood in Kabwata, and what kind of presentation I was making. And people can draw reference to that. But for me to endorse any particular candidate would be totally foolish because as you're well aware, I am a member of the Central Committee which will finally have the responsibility of adopting all candidates in the country. At this stage, I wouldn't.
Is breakfast ready?
Any particular candidate. The only thing I can say is that for all those who are vying,
Ask what
please,
breakfast.
can you present yourself in such a manner that will make it difficult for the Central Committee
Ask
to
her.
make a land themselves?
She's sleeping,
And
but she's
by so
awake.
doing, you want to conduct yourself in an orderly manner
Alice.
so that all
Alice.
of you end up being considered as gentlemen of credibility whose interest is to serve your country, serve your constituency, and to serve your party. If you go about doing things in such a manner that you lose credibility, you will make it very easy for the party to just look at one or another. So I would like to encourage all those who are right for Kabwata constituency to conduct their campaign, to conduct their program, to be taught all the time.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lubinda, the Justice Minister, speaking to us on RHB regarding his decision that he made yesterday not to recontest his Kabwata constituency seat in Parliament in August.
Okay, but maybe just do the eggs.
Okay. So I was just listening to the interview of Honorable Given Lubinda on Hot FM. He was called in and he was giving an update about his decision not to contest Kabwata constituency. Honorable Given Lubinda has been a member of parliament for Kabwata since what is it? Since 2001. Since 2001, Given Lubinda has been a member of parliament, and he has been voted in back to back consecutively for four terms. Four times Given Lubinda has been voted. Firstly, when he entered, when he was voted in first, he was actually not in the ruling party. He was voted in as an opposition member of parliament, and then he joined the PF, and again he was voted. So he's a member of parliament who has been a member of parliament as an opposition and a member of parliament as a ruling from the ruling party. He has tested both sides, you know, as an opposition and as a ruling party. So I think this is a great achievement. Frankly speaking, with I know some people, you know that, I mean, I've got some issues with Given Lubinda, but you know, we need to look at we need to look at things objectively.
We need to look at things objectively and judge people for who they are and the good things that they have done. This is how I look at the reality myself. I mean, just because you may have a difference with one person, with a person in one area, then everything is bad. I don't think that is the right way of looking at things as human beings. We do not have to look at, just because you have got one little issue with somebody, then everything about that person is bad. I don't think that is good. So for me, I look at Given Lubinda, when I look at Given Lubinda, I'm looking at him as a leader, as a member of parliament, as a national leader. This is what I'm looking at. And from that point of view, I have looked at Given Lubinda as one of the celebrated good leaders that we have had. Yes, he's human. Here and there, he may not have done things in the manner that we wish he would. But generally, Given Lubinda is one of the leaders that we should celebrate. Frankly speaking, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. And these are the reasons I'm giving. Like, he's one of the leaders that was voted, as member of parliament from the opposition. And again, he was voted in as a ruling party. 2 terms, I think he served as 2 terms he served as an opposition. 2 terms he has served as part of the ruling party. That is not a simple achievement. It is not a simple achievement to be voted in as a member of parliament, especially when you are talking about a highly populated constituency like Kabwata. Kabwata is not one of those constituencies where you would go around, cheat people, give them packets of sugar, give them chitenges, and they vote for you. No, the people in Kabwata are the middle class. So these are people that are knowledgeable. These are people that are critical in choosing leaders. So Kabwata is not a constituency that one would take for granted that he was voted just like anybody else. No. Kabwata is not an easy constituency. It's not an easy constituency. Yet this man has been voted 4 times. 4 times. This is an achievement, regardless of whatever things here and there that may not have gone well. But this one is a big achievement which we must congratulate him. But another issue that I want to look at is, the conduct of Given Lubinda as a member of parliament. The conduct of Given Lubinda as a member of parliament. I think a lot of us who are coming into politics, especially those aspiring to be members of parliament, they have a lot to learn from Given Lubinda. Given Lubinda really, showed the true leadership, the true meaning of a member of parliament. He showed the true meaning of being a member of parliament. A lot of people think that being a member of parliament, you become like a chief or like a president of a constituency. No. There is a difference. We need to understand who a member of parliament is. A lot of people aspire to become members of parliament, but they don't know who a member of parliament is. They don't know the roles of the members of parliament. And that's why they go out in the constituencies making promises that they cannot fulfill. They make promises that they can never fulfill. And after some time, people they create these expectations in people. And at the end of the day, people don't get those things and they kick them out. You have to understand who is a member of parliament. A member of parliament is a lawmaker. Is a lawmaker. The job of a member of parliament is to make laws. That is the job of a member of parliament. And Given Lubinda understood this. That is why Given Lubinda made a lot of noise in parliament. If you look at the answered, especially even when he was in opposition, you will see Given Lubinda, brought in a number, has initiated a number of laws. I remember at that point, he was like the member of parliament for the civil society at one point. He used to bring in, private bills in parliament, which were being crafted by different NGOs. He was the civil society, he was the advocate member of parliament. He was the voice for these advocates who are not in parliament. That is the job of a member of parliament. When you are talking about constituency development, it is not to say you start taking out money from your pockets. I have seen some members of parliament pledging, oh, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. That is not your job as a member of parliament. That is not your job. That should not be part of your manifesto as a member of parliament. I'll do this, I'll do this. It's not you. You have to go to parliament and push for developmental agenda in your constituency, and it should come as part of the national budget. The development in your constituency should come as part of a national agenda, part of the national budget. That's how it should come. And this is why Given Lubinda has managed to do a lot of things in Kabwata, not from his pocket, but from his advocacy in parliament. In parliament. I mean, a lot of things that you are seeing, the development that you are seeing, it is because Given Lubinda was talking about it. These electricity, the two roads that you are seeing, and the street lights and the water and everything, he was advocating for this, but he was not advocating for this to say, give only the people of Kabwata. He was advocating to say, Zambia needs electricity. We all need electricity. We all need street lights. And as it enters into the national plan, when the issue of extending roads entered into the national plan, then Given Lubinda would say, we have started extending roads, but I am not seeing roads being done in Kabwata. When are we going to do this? The 400, you know, the 400 that many people talk about, the 400 kilometers roads which were done by the PF. That was part of a national plan. If you ask Given Lubinda, they will tell you that they started talking about this during the time of MMD. Only that it was fulfilled during the time of PF. And because he was speaking for Kabwata, then he says, what about Kabwata? Can we also get these roads? Can we get these kilometers? Can these kilometers be done in Kabwata? And that's how the roads have been done. That's how the street lights have been done. It is because he knows how to act as a member of parliament. You push for issues at a national level. It becomes part of the national agenda. And then when it becomes part of the national agenda, you claim for your part. You claim for your part. And that's how it has been done. So these chaps like Avena Clement Tembo, they don't know what it means to be a member of parliament. They don't know. They think they can develop a constituency by stolen money. No, you can't. You can't. Because you need a lot of money for you to develop a constituency from your pocket, unless you have stolen money. Because money that you have been making on your own, ule pangama beggars, ule shapalika take away, and you say, I'm going to develop a constituency. It can't work unless you have stolen. So those, for me, who are pledging that no, they will develop a constituency with their own money, I don't think that's their money. These are the people who are bringing corruption. These are the people who are bringing corruption. But Clement Tembo, you don't know what it means to be a member of parliament. You think that being a member of parliament is being some president of some sort. Nama bodyguard, here and there, ukula yumfwa. A member of parliament, you should be on the ground. Me, I used to work with Given Lubinda around in Kabwata at one point. You know, I remember we went to launch one time a boho at that church, at that Catholic church in Kabwata. I mean, he used to talk to people. I know a lot of people say, no, Given Lubinda does not give money. But, I mean, that is not his job. But if you talk about hearing you, Given Lubinda will hear you. I mean, I get irritated with phone calls all the time. But one thing that I remember Given Lubinda, he's so patient on the phone. Even somebody who is not making sense, but he'll be there listening. He's one of the person that really, if I get irritated, I remember Given to say, yeah, that man was patient to listen to people. You know, and somehow I also just become patient, even whatever people are telling me. So you listen to people. Listen to people. It's not just about you. You have to listen to people. You have to be humble. You can give him other weaknesses, but Given Lubinda is humble. Given Lubinda is humble. At least that is humble. Given Lubinda is humble. When you interact with him, really, the guy is a leader, that's for sure. The guy is a leader. And now, of course, there are these speculations that Given Lubinda is going to be the vice president and so on and so forth. I think for me, what we should be praying for is that Given Lubinda is given a position after the elections, because PF is returning. After the elections, we should pray that Given Lubinda is given a position where he can help. He can help with his experience. He is a member of parliament who started a lot of things in the parliament. The offices, one thing for me that I always appreciate him together with Isaki is that they started these constitutional offices. The constitutional offices that you see all over, they were started by Given Lubinda and Saki. When Saki was the member of parliament for Livingstone. They have also started a number of initiatives on how they can be interacting with people. You know, these are the community development in the constituencies and so on and so forth. There are a lot of initiatives that these people started. And that is a vast experience that should not go to waste. We need Given Lubinda, to help with that experience. I don't know how a PF Mkatontonka Nyapo but I don't know, but we need Given Lubinda to help the members of parliament, to know who a member of parliament is and how they should lobby for their constituencies. Given Lubinda can play a very good role in that area. And I know President Edgar Lungu must be thinking of something that will befit Given Lubinda after the elections. That's for sure. For now, Given Lubinda said he's going to go out and campaign. Let him campaign so that Edgar Lungu can even get 80%, because as it stands, clear, given Edgar Lungu has already passed the 60%, 61 plus percent, he has passed that. So we need to work up to, let him get even 86%. And I'm saying we should given Edgar Lungu that. But don't think that I'm not going to stand. I am consulting. I might even consult Given Lubinda himself on how, I can also mold myself, because he's experienced. He's experienced. That man is very, very experienced. Even becoming president, just that he's a modest man, even becoming president, Given Lubinda would do very well. Frankly speaking, when I think about people around, Given Lubinda given a position in State House, I think he would do very, very well. But of course, at this point in time, we are not discussing that. We are discussing Given Lubinda has to give the backing to Edgar Lungu to bounce back into State House. He's already bouncing back. What we need to look at, what will Given Lubinda do after the elections? And we need to give him something that will help us with the experience that he has had as a member of parliament, as somebody who has been in parliament. He has been in parliament for 20 years. He has got good experience in parliament for 20 years. That is very, very good, very, very good experience. How can we use that experience of Given Lubinda in parliament for 20 years?
If you are joining me for the first time, click subscription button and notification bell to be notified. This is Davi-tech Media, updating you. Davi-tech Media. Subscribe to Davi-tech Media. Davi-tech Media. Subscribe to Davi-tech Media.